Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about factoring a quadratic trinomial with a is equal to 1. So remember that a trinomial in standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. So a trinomial has three terms, so we have ax squared is one term, bx and c are the second and third terms separated by that addition sign or those addition signs. And it's quadratic since we have x to the second power. A is equal to 1 means that we have a first coefficient of 1, so it's x squared and not 2x squared or 3x squared and so on. Factoring a quadratic trinomial with a is equal to 1 is simpler than a is equal to 2 or 3. That's going to be in another video. So for this first one here, x squared plus x minus 90. To factor by the AC method, we want to multiply our a times our c. So a times c here is 1 is a, times c is negative 90. So negative 90, and we want to add to our b term, which is 1. There's a 1 in front of that x there. Actually, before I write that, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 1, and c is equal to negative 90. A times c is negative 90. And again, our b is 1. So to factor by the AC method, we want to think about which two numbers multiply to negative 90 and add to negative 1. So which two numbers multiply to negative 90 and add to negative 1? Well, that is 10 and 9. And negative 10 times 9 is negative 90. And negative 10 plus 9 is negative 1. So negative 9 and 10 would also multiply to negative 90, but that does not meet the criteria of adding to negative 1. So our two numbers, negative 10 and 9, what we're going to do with those is put those into our factors. So x minus 10 and x plus 9. And that's how we factor. Number 2, a is 1, b is 4, and c is negative 12. To factor by the AC method, we want to multiply a and c, so that's negative 12. So we want two numbers that multiply to negative 12, so put an m for multiply, and add to 4, our b term. Well, 12 has more factors, so we've got 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, but which ones of those add to 4? Well, 6 and 2. And if I make the 2 negative, we multiply to negative 12, and we can add to positive 4. So with 6 and negative 2, I'm going to put those into my factors. So x plus 6 for positive 6, and x minus 2 for negative 2. For number 3, a is 1, b is negative 10, and c is 9. I want two numbers that multiply, so two factors of 9 that add to negative 10. Think about that for a second. So two numbers that multiply to 9 are 1 and 9. We have to add to negative 10, so if I make these both negative, that satisfies both criteria. So x minus 1 and x minus 9. And just to note that the order doesn't matter here, I could write x minus 9 times x minus 1 first, or x minus 9 first and then x minus 1. Of course, though, I would not want to write 1 minus x minus 9. That's slightly different. For number 4, a is 1, b is 16, and c is positive 64. So a is 1, b is 16, and c is 64. So we want two numbers that multiply to 64 and add to 16. Well, 64, 1 and 64, 2 and 23, 4 and 16, 8 and 8, x plus 8, x plus 8 or x plus 8 squared. And these last two, so for number 5, a is 1, b is 2, and c is negative 24. A times c is negative 24, so I want two numbers that multiply to negative 4 and add to 2. 24 has factors of 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Well, 4 and 6 are 2 apart, so 4 and 6. And to make sure that those two add to a positive 2, I want to make my smaller number 4 negative so that they multiply to negative 24. So I have x minus, oh, that's a weird x minus 4 and x plus 6. And last but not least here, x squared minus 4x plus 24. It's very similar to number 5 with that 24, but we have a positive 24 here. And they have to add to something different, so negative 4. And they're going to multiply to positive 24. So 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 1 and 24. None of those are 4 apart. So, this is not factorable. So it looks very similar to number 5, which was factorable. That 24 has many factors, but none of them are 4 apart. So, because if I even tried here, negative 4 plus 6, negative 2. 4 plus negative 6, negative 2. 2 plus 12, or negative 2 plus 12 is is 10. Negative 12 plus 2 would be negative 10. 3 and 8 would be 5 and negative 5, and so on. So this one is not factorable. Let me know if you want to see any other examples below.